It's Thursday, May 26th, so it's 1 week since my last video.
It's YouTube, not a confessional, Rick.
Okay, let's talk about the job hunt. Looking for work. Last Monday, I left my job with no safety net. I've been interviewing already like crazy. And with one company, today I have my final interview with them, my third interview. And it may not be one that's perfect, but it is a paycheck. Doesn't mean I necessarily have to stay or slow down my job search. I'm still looking. I'm gonna actually intensify my job search right now. So because between now and my start date of my job, I still have free time. This means I can interview every single day whenever I want to, and I can interview for any type of job and be as experimental as I want and shoot for the stars and try and get something even better. As horrible as it might sound, it is quite possible to start a job for a company, accept another job for another one, and work up until the day you got to start there. And, call them up and say, hey, I got another opportunity given to me that was interviewed before I even started here, but it's better. And so the more opportunities you have, the better it is. So I don't even have that job yet, but today's my final interview. I think I'll get this one, but I'm going to keep searching. I have a whole month where I can interview every single day, keep my calendar full, and look for the best job possible, because what's better, 3 or 4 job offers or just one? So we're doing great there. Next up, in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to be selling some of my tools, some of my equipment. So I managed to do some of that. I made a few $100s there. And so, that helps getting groceries and keeping the family afloat. Now, I already have my rent money available for the end of the month. So the only time I have to really start worrying about getting a large amount of money together is going to be like the 1st of July. So I do have quite a bit of time to mess around and play around with these things, but was able to sell a few things and get that done. Also, we were able to have a little money to go away with on our short vacation that we went on. We went away to Palm Springs, and so the things that I sold meant that we weren't just sitting in the apartment. We actually were able to go to town, do a little shopping, and hang out as a family and do those cool things. So that I'm extremely grateful for. It's awesome that we were able to do that. I did also want to talk a little bit about flipping, because I mentioned in my last video, I do flip Lego. I know that sounds a little strange maybe to you, but it's quite easy and quite possible to, first of all, there's two ways I flip Lego. I buy it from Lego themselves, straight from lego.com, and I can sell it on Amazon for more, sometimes 2 or 3 times the amount. That's just the marketplace. The other thing is I can also buy and sell Lego on places like, say, Facebook Marketplace. So I can buy it on Marketplace, and then I can sell it on Amazon. You just have to know what you're buying and what you're looking for. So let's talk about how that's going. Last week I spoke about a kit I was going to pick up for 20 bucks and I was going to sell for 65. Actually, it's a little more complicated than that, although not crazy. So the Lego kit that I bought, it's for sale right now for 30 bucks. So now I could have just bought it and sold it for 30 bucks and made 10. But what I knew was that on Amazon, sometimes what people will do is they will take a Lego kit and they might pair it up with another Lego kit, for example, and put it as an exclusive deal and charge quite a lot more for it. And this kit was one just like that. The kit itself retails at $29.99. I bought it for $20, so I know I'm in profit even before I start. I found an Amazon listing which basically had a Lego keychain, where if you put the keychain and the kit together, I'll be able to sell it on Amazon for $92. It's like $91.90 or something like that. I paid 20 bucks for the kit. I ordered the keychain from Lego, that's $5.99, and so, well, that's $25.99. I'll be able to flip it on Amazon for over $90. I'm just waiting for the keychain to arrive, And that means I'll probably have about, after the fees, 40 bucks profit. So spent 20, I'm gonna make 40. That's not bad. Still waiting on that deal. But let's talk about the other deals that I did this week. One of the other deals I did was a particular Lego kit that's really in demand, and also a free kit. So these are two separate different things. So lego.com, when you order stuff, often will give you a free Lego kit if you spend a certain amount of money. Now these can work out really, really well for you, and I'll explain exactly how. Lego give away free Lego kits. When you order, I don't know, sometimes if you order 100 bucks, you get this free thing. And one of the free kits I got was for Jane Goodall. I don't know if you know much about her. She was a British expert in chimpanzees, but I'm not going to get too sidetracked with that. So a few months ago, I got a free Lego kit for Jane Goodall. Best thing to do with these kits is kind of just sit on them for a minute. And the really cool thing about them is they're very scarce because you can't buy them separately on their own. With the Jane Goodall kit, I had sent it into inventory. Now I paid $0 for this kit, and I sold it this week for $47. It's because of the scarcity, they're rare kits, and so you can sell them for quite a bit. Now that's one that I did this week, but in one day, I want to say this was Monday this week, I had a really good day. I found someone on Facebook who was selling a really sought after Lego kit, and also at one of the free Lego kits that she had. And for the free one, I paid 20 bucks. Now for the one that I bought that's really, really sought after, actually it's the Back to the Future time machine, so the DeLorean. And when it was sold on Lego, it sold out the first day and you can't get hold of them. So it was 169 bucks retail. People bought them and they're selling them. Now, some people are selling them at a good profit and some are not. I picked up that kit for $235 from this lady, so she's making 50 bucks. She's happy. I also picked up a free kit from her for $20, which was a little taxi kit. Again, it was one of those kits that Lego gave away for free. So I went over to her house on Monday and I spent $255 on those two Lego kits. What I knew was that on Amazon, the DeLorean was selling on Prime for $390 or more, over nearly $400. I wanted to flip it quick, so I sold it on Amazon FBM, where I ship it from my house, and I sold it the very same day for $375 plus shipping. I also sold the kit that was free. I sold that kit as well the same day. I want to say it was close to $60. So in the same day, I bought these two kits for $255. I flipped them both on Amazon. I had them listed and sold and shipped out in the same day. My total profit after fees, everything together, was $371. Basically, I bought these Legos for $255, and the very same day had it flipped, sold, and done for $371. So that day I made somewhere around 120 bucks. That's more than I was getting paid at my job. So that's awesome. I also had inventory arriving that I'd shipped out to Amazon a couple weeks ago that I was waiting to start hitting their shelves, as it were, or actually hitting live inventory and being sold. So yesterday, two of the kits that I had sent in also sold. So I want to say I sold those two kits, and my total sales for the day was $202. I believe my profit on those, the income on those at 202 is somewhere around 160 bucks or something like that after the fees have come out and all that stuff. So again, another day, 160 bucks where I made more than my old job. As my inventory starts to hit, I'll start making these sales. I don't actually have to do anything physically to sell them. Amazon takes care of all that stuff for me. So that's two or three ways where I've been flipping Legos. What I'm trying to do is hustle up enough money to buy two more of the DeLoreans, which now you cannot get for less than 250 bucks. It's kind of a hot market, and if I can get in on it, I can move things fast. I'll even pay up to 300 for them, because I know that the more that they're sold, the market becomes more scarce. That kit's gonna be probably 500 bucks, in the next week or two, but I need to secure some of that. So I need my capital to come in from those things. So working on all that stuff. Now, just as I mentioned last week too, I mentioned that I'm going to be working on networking and building a business as well. So I have put my graphics company website back up. It's all up and running right now, sharedgraphics.com. So the hope with that one is to, first of all, do graphics work for myself, get cash flow in for me, and then start building up clientele. And when I have enough clientele, I will start building an agency whereby I have other people doing the graphics work for me and I just sell the jobs. So that's another thing that I'm building to build income that, may become something that I'm like, okay, done with my sales job, I can just move on and actually build a company and do all that stuff. But like I said the other day, I'm working on building my network because due to working for a company, having all my time taken up, and also because of COVID and all that kind of stuff, my network in about 5 years went from, thousands and thousands of people down to literally like 1 or 2 or pretty much 0. Yesterday I attended a Zoom meeting for a Facebook group, which I highly recommend people joining. It's called The Professional Connection. It's a small group of people that have entrepreneurial people that have entrepreneurial spirit and that are starting their own companies, trying to build something and connect with others. So I was in a Zoom meeting with them. Actually have gotten on pretty well with the owner of the group. Turns out he lives in the same town as I do. And so him and I are going to connect for coffee next week. I also met another person in the group who is a filmographer and photographer who also lives in the same town as me. So him and I are going to meet up, grab a coffee, do that kind of stuff, network next week again. And then I also found a local business group that meet at a pizza place close to my house. I will be going and meet those guys at 12 o'clock today. Again, expanding my network, meeting new people, finding connections, seeing who can help me and who can I help. And actually just, making friends. I mean, that's all it's about. Make good business friends. Don't do it because they can help you. Do it because you need to have friends and people in your life that you can pick up a phone and call and go, hey, how's it going? Just have a conversation and hang out with. Those connections turn into opportunities. You just can't walk through life not knowing anybody, because ultimately, when I was a kid, and I've built a professional skate career on that theory. I also have built a corporation based on that theory, because it's really not a theory, it's fact. I have a massive benefit in my life that I never thought growing up would ever be of such massive benefit to me, but it is. And that is growing up absolutely what I call piss poor broke. Like when I grew up, I had absolutely nothing. I didn't even have $5 to go anywhere or do anything. So what I would do is I would just go. I had no friends, really. I would go where the people are. So first of all, that's the thing. Go where people are. I would go to either the local leisure center where there was a park. So there's plenty of people around on the weekends. Or I would go to town where lots of people are out shopping and doing those kinds of things. And I'd just meet people. I would just go up to them as a kid, 10, 12, 13, however old I was. I would just go up and say, hey, how's it going? And I would meet kids and I would find friends. And, the next week I went up there, I'd know them. They'd be there again. And that's how I got to know people. So that basically, if I didn't go up to people and say, hey, how's it going? I didn't have any friends. I didn't have anyone to hang out with or anything to do. As a result of just being broke, I had no other options other than to make friends, find friends, talk to people. Because at the end of the day, you're done if you don't have someone to hang out and talk to you, if you don't have any money. That was a massive benefit to me throughout my life. And I'll give you 2 good examples of exactly how that worked out. Firstly, I built a pro skate career. And you know what? Out of all the pro skaters that I knew, I was more connected. I was on TV more. I had better sponsors than other people, and I had better deals and had a lot more going on than anybody else. And it's down to, there's a couple things. A lot of people will tell you, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. Now, what I will tell you is it's really actually easy to be in the right place at the right time. I'll tell you exactly how you do that. It's real simple. If you want to be in the right place at the right time, you have to be everywhere all the time. What I mean by that is in your particular niche or whatever it is you're doing, you have to be everywhere all the time, omnipresent. So everybody finds you and sees you absolutely anywhere they look. 2 times in my life I've done that. First of all, with my skate career. I didn't skate a skateboard, I skated a weird type of board. There wasn't many events for my sport, but I would go to BMX events, I would go to skateboarding events, I would go to any event ever, anywhere near me. I would go to places where they hung out, go to clubs where the skaters went to, and if there was just anything going on, I would be there. So everybody in the United Kingdom that was into that sport knew me. Everybody, pro BMXers, pro skateboarders, anything that was anything, anywhere, I was there. And I introduced myself to people and just said, hey, or, say something memorable, or just jump into a conversation and start talking to those people. There's a half-pipe team in the UK that I was a member of, actually before I was ever a member of them. Now, I earned a lot of money. I did TV work with them. I did big shows. We were on the Guinness Book of Records, breaking records together. Now, this was a huge thing. But one of my friends, he was on the team, and they only needed one skater. Or one that skated my particular board. I was just chilling, sitting at home one day, and I got a phone call from a guy who happens to be a pro vert skater. A guy who happens to be a pro vert rider. I'm not going to mention his name, but he is very big in the pro vert category. Pretty much got second place in every single contest in the late 80s on vert. He's just a number one dude. Not going to talk about who he is or what he does. He's just a fucking top-notch guy. He gave me a call one day. He goes, hey, this other skater broke his wrist. And the owner of the place was looking for another skater to replace him. He goes, I thought of you. You're the only other guy that can do this. You're actually one of the best. So here's what we're going to do. We've got this show where you're not going to make any money, but you can come over and skate for this guy, show him what you can do, and if he likes you, then you'll get more shows from here on. He put me up at his house because it was closer, so he picked me up, took me to his house. We hung out at his house for a few days. We did some vert shows. We had a good time. And from then on, I was part of a vert team, a half-pipe team that toured the UK. I did TV work, broke records on national television. We did so many things, and I earned a lot of money, and I traveled the world. We went to South Africa and did vert shows for Red Bull. All those things wouldn't have been possible had I not just got myself out there and just made friends with people, just hang out, have beer. This is the guy I drank beer with and hung out with on the same rep. That was it. Just be friends with people, just be a dude. Like, that's all you need to do. Example number 2 of it's not what you know, it's who you know. I, at one point in my life, built a $300,000 a year company. Now, it's not a big company, but it was a corporation and it was awesome. But the cool thing is I actually built it from the change on my bedroom floor, and it turned out to be, this $300,000 a year company. I didn't have a job for 8 years. I mean, if you call it a job, it really didn't feel like a job. It was just awesome. It's who you know, not what you know. Things that happened in that whole thing was, and also be everywhere all the time, because that's how you are in the right place at the right time. This proves both of those again. So when I was first into airsoft, that was the thing that I had a business for. And when I was first into it, I basically went to every game anywhere near me within 100 miles. I was at every game possible. I would go there and just in between games, talk to people, meet people, come up with new game ideas. So all of this is all free. And just get to know the community, get to know the players, just get to know everyone. And I did that for at least a year. It wasn't really making any money there. I was making little bits here. I was buying and selling guns. I was upgrading guns, but people knew that I was in business and I was there to do something. One day, here we are again. Got a phone call from a guy. His name was Tony. And the conversation pretty much went like this. Hey, Rick, how's it going? I was just driving around here in the city over here, and I saw this place that looked like it was an old paintball park. And I knew the spot. I'd driven past it myself. I knew everything about the whole area. But this guy, he just took it upon himself to drive in and knock on the door and talk to the person there. The person there happened to own the land. And he's like, hey, we're trying as a community to build an airsoft field where people can go to. And, because people play illegally in all sorts of places. This guy, Tony, talked to the landowner, found a way that he can actually use the land on the weekends to have a field where people could go and play. Tony didn't want to do that himself because he didn't have the time. So who did he call? He called me. He said, hey, Rick, I don't have time to do this. You're the number one guy. You're looking to expand and grow the sport. You can do this. And he handed me that deal. He just said, hey, come meet this guy. And so we went down, we met the guy. We agreed terms. That was my $300,000 a year business. I have had events with hundreds and hundreds of players. It blew up. I was literally one of the most well-known field operators in Southern California, and my brand was huge. I probably have had over probably 30 or 40,000 people, or maybe even 50 or 100,000 people go through the doors of that park, and it was the best time. I met so many people, and I could never be more thankful than to that guy. If I wasn't everywhere all the time, if I didn't make friends and make opportunities, if I didn't do those things, that call would never have come. It's really this: be everywhere all the time. It's never what you know. You can be an expert in your field and not make any money. It's always who you know. Someone's going to find you, connect you, and you'll do that. You'll get all that stuff going on. That's why right now I'm out there in the business community, meeting as many people as I can, building a network, just getting on. It's not like it's a meticulous, calculated thing. I'm literally looking for friends, and those friends, though, something will happen, and eventually, we'll spark a conversation, and someone will go, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a designer. And then there you go. It's just how life works. People want to work with cool people. So that's it. That's the update. Last week I walked out of my job, didn't really know what I was doing. Now I have 3 things I'm doing. I've got another job coming. I've got this Lego thing that I've been doing. And I'm also making connections and establishing myself as a graphic designer. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do any of those things had I been sitting at a desk from 9 to 5 for that company that I was working for before. I needed that time liberation in order to start moving forwards. And that's what was holding me back at the time. That's it for this week. I'm going to try and keep you guys more updated, because what it's all about at the end of the day is about not having a net zero. It's about never going back to zero, always being motivated, always moving forwards, and always going fast. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be left behind, and you want to make sure that you're capable of getting where you need to be. That's it for now. Let's talk next week, or whenever it is I manage to get back to doing another video.